Hello, my name is Chase Laudeman, and I'm the Director of Human Resources for Home Success. Now, before I even begin, I would like to personally, and as on behalf of the Human Resources Department as a whole, like to thank you for taking some time out of your own very busy schedule to meet with us. We realized that it was difficult in doing so, especially with COVID regulations. So doing the meeting this way is the only way to keep both you and myself safe. So we thank you for taking time and working with us on that. The Human Resources Department has been coming up with a multitude of ideas for the past few months pertaining to our spring hiring process that we hold every year, in which we normally hire around 65,000 employees across our stores nationwide. This is a very large goal, and we have attained it in the past, but unfortunately, in recent years, this goal has been the amount of employees that we've been able to hire during our spring hiring process has declined, unfortunately. Whether this is due to COVID or many other factors is certainly we are looking into. However, this year we are definitely going to come back harder and we're going to present to you our ideas and some brand new ideas in order to get those employees back into home success during our spring program. So the Human Resources Department as a whole, like I said, we've been working for a multitude of months in order to work through this problem and get more employees into home success. Now, granted, we have run into and seen a number of problems that we have addressed in this. One of the biggest problems that we've seen is, ironically, a low unemployment rate. Despite the fact that we have had a national pandemic, we have a low unemployment rate because many employees and employers have had to been laid off, have had to fire and be fired in this. So moving to different jobs, they've increased job satisfaction because they potentially have found the job that they've wanted, that they enjoy through this unfortunate event. Another big problem that we have identified is a large competitor that is similar to our own in business construction and home improvement in the home improvement industry. So recognizing that we have a large competitor on the scene that is also doing a same sort of spring hiring process was a large factor that played into our ideas for our spring hiring process. So moving on from that, the Human Resources Department has identified three main things that we're going to looked over, for that misstatement. The biggest one was our demographics, the second was our income levels, and our third was our age groups. The DIA is what we refer to it as a Human Resources Department, because those are the three biggest things we have to look at in the hiring process. Our demographics pertain to the working class and middle class citizens, as higher class citizens are not likely to hold jobs in this field, such as cashiers, stockers, loaders, and merchandising assistants and associates. So they're not likely to hold jobs in that. So we focus mostly on middle and working class citizens. Now, during this time, we've primarily focused on working class citizens because the job turnover for them has been fairly high due to COVID regulations, rules, and compared to those people that have been there for at those companies for a multitude of years. The other factor that we looked into as a Human Resources Department was their income levels. Lower income levels are more likely to have either multiple part-time jobs or roughly 1 to 2, types of full-time jobs, unfortunately, during this time. So recognizing those income levels and which groups we should really target for jobs this spring. Another was age. We can hire anywhere from a high school senior to someone who is 80 years old that might be good for a cashier or a merchandising assistant helping customers in our stores. So making sure that we look at the factors that are related to age. We can hire a 18-year-old high school student that is probably going to be supplemented by his parents and more than likely living at home at the moment, maybe going to college, saving up for some of that. Whereas we also have to cater to a person that is in their mid-30s, has a couple of kids, and also has a home and car payment that we also have to consider when looking for potential employees. So starting into the spring hiring process, we looked through all these factors and came up with the most logical idea for our hiring process. Now, there are two things that we really focused on in our spring hiring plans, along with using our demographics, our income levels, and our age groups as guidances to those problems. So starting off with our employees, who are basically our base of our company. They keep our company running. They keep our customers coming into our stores through, customer service, helping them out. So making sure our employees are well cared for, especially during the spring hiring program where they may have to work with a number of new employees, and making sure that they are okay with that, not only okay with that, but are able to work with those employees, and making sure that they are compensated for having to work and potentially even train some of these new employees. So one thing the Human Resources Department has come up with, through case studies, or not only case studies, but looking at our demographics, our DIA, is an employee supplement, or rather incentive, as some people may put it. And this incentive entails the idea that the employees are going to receive points based on a system that we have devised. The employees are able to suggest potential hires, employees for a spring sales system. So whether it be family members, friends, maybe past coworkers that they've worked with at other companies, suggesting those people for the employee program, and gaining points based on the amount of people they are able to get into our stores or for home success. Now, the criteria for this is the potential employees and our current employees suggest must submit an application, a resume, and come in for an interview. Only then will our employees receive the financial or the points. The points will be based upon those criteria. The points will then in turn be recorded and taken down by the store managers and used as a monetary bonus for these employees for gaining these potential and future and more than likely permanent employees to our company. Another factor that we really looked into was our marketing campaign. We worked along with the marketing department with Human Resources in making sure that we know what makes people, look at this employment opportunity and such things like that. So we came up with this list of marketing campaigns in hopes that it's used by our companies, store-wide, and in our communities. So our biggest one was advertising on Facebook for our older generations. Older generations typically tend to use older social media platforms such as Facebook, which has been around for quite a while, using Instagram and Twitter for our younger generations, appealing to those younger generations, just kind of making sure we have a solid employee base after those older generations move on. In-store promotion is a big factor, putting up posters and flyers, employees talking to potential employees, saying they're interested in working at Home Success. So the overall cost of this can cost just around the $500,000 mark for our marketing and possibly $2 million in our employee benefits. And communicating this with our store managers is key in making sure this is come to fruition. So all of these ideas have come from this in our Human Resources Department, and I deeply thank you for having time to listen to this and our argument. Thank you.